This week on One Crazy Story, comedian Brian Scolaro joins us to talk about police chases, the advice he gave Michael Richards, and much more.
So he was telling me how he doesn't like it. He does like it, but he's bad at it. And I said, you should do it. I said, there's a club called the Laugh Factory on Sunset Boulevard. You call up the owner. I said, this is pretty much the way you call it.
Oh, okay.
You ask for this guy. You tell him you want to perform under a fake name. You can practice. And he goes, okay.
That's smart. That's great advice. Hello and welcome to another edition of One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week I'm talking with comedian Brian Scolaro. You may know Brian from his Conan appearances, his sitcom appearances, or you may have just seen him on the road somewhere. Brian performs all over the country. He's probably been to your town. And last weekend, he happened to be in Ann Arbor, Michigan, near where I live, and he was kind enough to sit down and talk with me. I know it's called One Crazy Story, but every once in a while I have a guest on that may not have one huge long story that we'll be talking about. When I talked to Brian about it, he goes, I don't really have one particular story, but I do have a bunch of little ones that we can talk about, which I thought was just as fun. And so I left them all in there. I thought they were so funny. We talk about a police chase Brian was inadvertently involved in, and a couple, actually. We talk about a show at the Comedy Cellar back in the day and the time he met Michael Richards on a flight and may or may not have given him the best and worst advice knowing the outcome of Michael Richards' stand-up career. So that's just kind of right place at the right time, or maybe wrong place at the wrong time, but either way, it's hilarious when you really look at it. And Brian was kind enough to talk to me about it and share these stories on the podcast. So thank you so much for being on the show, Brian. Brian has a few albums out, one of them which I produced live at the Comedy Castle a couple years ago, I think. Make sure you go to iTunes, check that out. And his most recent album is called Stupid Time. It's all sketches. It's very funny. So make sure you pick that up and listen to it because it's great. In the meantime, if you're enjoying anything you've heard from me, you can always follow me on Twitter, Nate Comedy, or One Crazy Story at all social media platforms. And if you want to reach out personally, you can always email the show at onecrazystory@gmail.com. Let me know what you think of the show. If you have any comments, questions, anything you want. If you want to be on the show, or if you know someone that wants to be on the show, you just hit me up. That'd be awesome. Also, if you haven't had a chance to review the show on iTunes or any platform you listen on, that'd be fantastic. Be a big help. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Enjoy this episode with myself and comedian Brian Scolaro.
All right, first was a long time ago in Brooklyn. I think back when I was driving my parents' car.
Uh-huh.
And I'm driving to my friend Kelly's house. And I'm at a red light, and these cops pull over a car next to me. And I'm watching, and the cops get out, and they walk up to his window, and then the car takes off. And the cops go running back to their car, and then they go driving after him. And I was like, wow, I saw the beginning of a police chase. I never see the beginning of a police chase.
Right. You always see
the middle.
Yeah.
You know, so then I drove a little further, and I was trying to find the house, and then I see the car come whizzing past me. Literally, and the cops are following him, no siren, because it's late at night.
Uh-huh.
And the two go by me doing like 100 and something. I'm like, wow. You know, I had to swerve to go on the sidewalk a little bit. I'm like, wow, I was in the middle of the car chase. So I'm driving a little further on, and the car's coming right at me again.
Oh, shit.
And it swerves because of me. It swerves and hits a fire hydrant, and one of the wheels come flying off.
Oh, my God.
And then the cops, and look in the rearview mirror, the cops just stop peacefully, get out of the car, and just walk up to the wreck. And I was like, wow, I was there for the end. I was like, wait, I was the cause of the end. So I realized I'm the equivalent of the guy in the movie who's carrying a window across the street during the car chase, and the car goes to the window, or he's carrying a birthday cake and he falls into it during a fight. Like, I'm like that background guy.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, that's my place in life. I'm not as exciting as the cop or the bad guy. I'm the fucking idiot who was like, whoa, no! And
shit.
drove off the side of the road and made him crash.
And you ended a car chase. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's my, it's not really, is it really a story?
No, but I do like that you that happened to you. Well, yeah, I'm glad you really
okay. put my place on this earth. I was like, wow, here I am thinking I'm the center of the universe. I'm not the center, and I'm not the dark center. I'm just the fucking middle.
But
guy, the middle idiot.
But you changed the center, though.
Yeah, I changed.
You affect the
with
center.
Stupidity. whoa!
Was it like what do you do? But what do you do if there's a car coming right at you? Did you feel like do you freeze?
The first time I swerved. The second time was so fast he came flying around the corner and we were like, whoa! And this guy must have been like, this guy again. It was like a 20-block radius.
Could you imagine?
No other cars were there but the three of us.
Yeah.
And I was a centerpiece of it.
Could you imagine if that's exactly what that guy thought? That motherfucker.
I'm sure he did.
You're not even a cop,
That
and you
fat
had to.
fuck. They're not kind.
I don't know. Yeah, they can't. They're not nicely like. I cannot believe this young man. Yeah, get out of the fucking
that
way.
Chinese motherfucker, whatever he was, I would have said that. You know. So in New York, it was very rarely cop chases because everything is in a grid system.
I was gonna say it's hard to run from the police in such a concentrated area. I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's concentrated and it's really crowded, and you constantly have to make lefts and rights. There's no real straightaway runs except for the highway. Mm-hmm. And I've seen maybe 2 car chases on the highway in New York my entire life, maybe 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and usually they're televised from LA.
Yeah.
So I moved to LA.
You're like, I've seen New York car chases, but I watched them on TV in LA.
Yeah. No, I've seen the LA car chases in New York.
Oh, okay.
Because nobody really runs the cops in New York.
There's an LA car chase like once every few months.
I've seen tons.
Yeah.
So, my theory is there's straightaways. Everybody moves out there, be it an individual.
Yeah.
They're an individual in their office. They're an individual in their studio. They're an individual in their car. Mm-hmm. So they think everything thinks it's a movie. Their movie.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'll just outrun the guy. I'm like, how often has that worked out?
Yeah.
Once the helicopters are shooting you, the cops aren't going to let you go. No one's ever been like, we followed a car chase for 3 hours on TV and the guy got away. You've never seen that.
No, there's always an end.
Yeah, if the once the helicopter's there, the city and state is now would be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know?
And you can't outrun a helicopter. They always get out and run through backyards.
I've done it.
And you're like...
Well, Grand Theft Auto wants to... I'm glad you brought that up, because when I first moved to LA, I get this apartment.
What year was this?
2001.
Okay.
About a month before September 11th. It was a whole story. So I'm sitting there. I have this big, it doesn't matter. I'm watching the news. I have no furniture yet. I'm sitting on the floor watching a TV. And I see a car chase on the TV. And I'm like, wow, look at that. It's news. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And then the guy, there's machine guns going off.
Oh, my.
And then the cops are shooting. They shoot the machine guns at back at them. The cops shoot, and then they're shooting machine guns at them. They jump. The cops shoot out the tires. They jump out of the car. They jump a fence. There's 3 of them. And they go running into this backyard. And I'm watching. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That's, and I was like, wait a second. That's my house. And I look up.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. I look up, and 2 robbers go running by my window with sacks of money.
Oh, my God.
As close as me and you are. And I'm like, and then I see 3 cops right after him, and I just got up and just locked the door.
Right. Oh, my God. That's hilarious. I'm surprised you didn't, open the door and look up and, wave at the camera.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. Who's this guy blocking? I would go out there and tackle a cop. Why'd you do that?
Whoa.
I was like, that's my thing.
This guy,
I end chases.
I end chases.
That would have been really
you
great.
should have seen my work in New York back in the day.
But anyway, that was really a funny thing that happened to me when I first moved out there. That happened.
That would blow my mind if that happened to me.
Yeah.
Just, oh my God, that's my house. I know that bench.
Yeah, and I just moved there, so
I know that tree.
It didn't exactly register because I just moved there.
Yeah,
but I was like, that looks like the gate to my. That looks like.
Oh shit!
And they go, the other stories, stand-up related. Let's do the Comedy Cellar. We'll go back to the old days.
Oh yeah.
So I'm living in New York, living in Brooklyn, and performing at the Cellar.
What years are the old days for you?
I started in 90. My first show was in 92. I didn't take it seriously in 95.
Okay.
So really, my start date is 95.
Okay.
But I did 3 shows a year in between it.
Those first couple years are always pretty spread out.
Experimental.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, everything else sucks in my life. I might as well quit my job and do this.
Sure.
I had a job, a temporary job that paid the bills, and it was Sundays and Wednesdays.
Oh, perfect.
So I was like, okay.
You get on stage every night.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Anyway, it's at the Comedy Cellar. I show up, and Chris Rock's on stage, and the place is sold out, and there's a white guy in a suit with 2 girls on either side of him, young, sitting in the front row, just being loud. Not so much talking to Rock,
Right.
but just being loud. Occasionally trying to talk to Rock.
Yeah.
But mostly just shouting out
Table
shit.
talk. And...
Shouting out shit for everyone in the room to hear him.
Oh, yeah.
But Rock just was just going over him, talking over him, not talking to him, talking over him, and just doing his act that he went there for.
Yeah.
Rock drove down from fucking upstate, wherever he lives, and he was like, I'm not wasting my time.
I didn't come here to fucking talk to you.
Everybody knows I'm funnier than this guy. I don't need to prove it. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that too. So I follow Chris Rock. And it's easy. Sometimes it's easy to follow a major celebrity because the major celebrity is practicing.
Right. They're not well,
then I go up there on my fucking
necessarily
5-year-old
ready yet.
act, and I'm like, it's just, it's just easy.
I've been doing these jokes for 10 years.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just making it up.
I'm burying Chris Rock.
Yeah, sure.
What an ego boost. Yeah, I'm just going to pretend like he was doing his best up there.
Yeah, that was...
He wasn't just open micing it.
Pretty much. So I do the same thing, and the kid's trying to talk to me. He's talking to the people behind him.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him. Talking to the girls, ordering loudly. Just a real, like...
It's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
who does that in public?
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Usually, it doesn't matter. Usually it's a woman, you know?
Sure,
This was a guy in a suit, and I guess a lot of female comics have to deal with guys like that in the audience. But I always noticed that female comics get heckled by men, and male comics get heckled by females.
That's a great observation. I never paid that much attention to it.
And I think it's because the audience member doesn't fear physical retribution.
I could see that.
That's what I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like just some asshole dude that's like, it's just
it's
just a woman up there. It's like, what's going to happen to me?
They didn't go there for a fight. They want attention.
Yeah,
all it is.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. It's just I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm helping your show.
Yeah, and men always think, and so many men always think they can plow over a woman. You know, like I'll just plow over her and take the show, and then they wind up being somebody. Like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
somebody really fucking strong.
Yeah, usually,
like,
most
rip them to shreds.
Yeah, a comic still knows how to navigate that.
Like Laurie Kilmartin.
Yeah,
you know? Just somebody who's going to destroy them.
Yeah, they good. Think, and they think she's just
oh, this is a housewife. I'm gonna this, and they're like, no,
that's a legit.
That's Laurie Kilmartin.
That's a legit stand-up comedian. That's a she knows. She's gonna embarrass you.
She knows what you're thinking before you're thinking it.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was I talking about? Jesus.
Yeah.
Have you accepted Jesus? No,
I have accepted him.
Good. That's good.
Yes. Whatever the answer is that won't make this uncomfortable. That's usually what it's usually.
Well, I once dated a Jewish girl. Before we had sex, I'd hold my penis and go, "Do you accept the Lord?" I did it twice. She didn't like it.
Same girl.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll try it one more time. Yeah. That's so funny.
She never she didn't like sex. She didn't like the joke. She liked the penis.
That's hilarious.
I hope she liked the penis.
I hope she said she did.
Let's get back on track. So Jesus, no. So I go on stage. And the kid's doing the same thing. So I talk over him. Then I finish my set. It goes well. I go upstairs, and upstairs you're sitting in a restaurant with other comedians, and there's a little TV screen above the bar that shows you live footage of downstairs.
So you get to watch the show?
Yeah, but you get to watch it but not hear it.
Okay.
It's mostly for us to know who's on stage, if there's a problem, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching Sherrod Small, Sherrod from Race Wars, up on stage. And it looks like people are running back and forth in front of him, and it looks like he's trying to hold the piece. So
watching this without audio had to have been kind of hilarious, but also you're like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah, but nobody else seemed to notice, but I was like, what's going on? So I go downstairs, and it's mass hysteria. And I'm like, what happened? And then Sherrod's on stage. Go, right, take it easy, everybody. We'll go back to the show.
Oh, my God.
So then Sherrod finishes. They throw another comic on. So now I'm outside with Sherrod. And I think what happened was two Italian kids who looked Puerto Rican. For years I thought they were Puerto Rican, but they were Italian because I looked it up. They were Italian, and they got tired of the kid's mouth. So they got up, and they hit him over the head with a beer.
Oh, my God. And so audience members attacked this dude.
Another audience member.
Oh.
So two Italians hit the loud kid in the suit.
Shit.
With a beer mug, and his head was bleeding.
Yeah.
So now the cops show up immediately, and the two Italian/Puerto Rican kids get thrown in the cop car. And then the one bouncer's holding them. There's a cop there, and then the kid comes out covered in blood.
Oh,
and he
man.
goes, I'm going to sue this place. I'm going to sue you, to the bouncer. I'm going to sue those kids. I'm going to sue the cops. and then they're like, "Look, the ambulance is on the way. I'm going to sue the ambulance." He goes, I'm an innocent bystander. And so then I said, well, you weren't that innocent. Because I'm more upset that he tried to interrupt the shows.
Right.
And he looks at me like, first of all, I liked you. How could you say that to me? And second of all, I'm covered in blood, asshole. But then
That's great.
So the next day,
hey, I'm just heckling you.
yeah, I thought I was. So I'm at home.
That's funny.
I'm at home. My mother calls me, and she goes, "What's going to happen to the Comedy Cellar?" I was like, I don't know. I go, why? How do you know? And she goes, well, I can't. So were you there when Trump's son got hit? And I was like, what?
What?
And she goes, Donald Trump's son, Trump Jr. was the one that was attacked.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That's fucking crazy.
So I'm still kind of new in stand-up, so I don't know what's going to happen. So that night I have a Comedy Cellar spot, and I get there.
Holy shit.
I remember I think it was Patrice O'Neill, Rich Voss, Colin Quinn, Nick DiPaolo.
What a lineup.
Well, they were just sitting there.
Yeah.
They were performing, and also Manny the owner. And Manny the owner was a really funny guy, and he had the newspaper, the New York, was the cover of the New York Post.
Yeah.
Cover of the New York Post.
Damn it.
Said Donald Trump's going to sue Comedy Cellar, and then it had Chris Rock's picture, and it said that he was going to call Chris Rock in as a witness because he works from at his hotels. And so,
shit.
and then Manny's laughing, holding the paper.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, and
even for that.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, what the fuck's going on?
I said to Manny, I was like, you're not worried? He goes, Brian, you can't buy publicity like this.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, I was like, do you think he's going to sue? He said, he's not going to sue.
No.
And I was like, my God, this guy is using his son's blood to advertise his brand. You know what I mean? When you really think about it.
When you really think about it.
But at the time, it wasn't a political thing. It was just like, wow.
No, it's just.
At the time, we all knew in
That
New
was
York.
just business to him.
We all knew in New York Donald Trump was kind of a weirdo for the David Letterman appearances, for the Conan appearances.
He was just that rich guy in town, that rich douchebag.
None of us really liked him in New York, you know.
Yeah.
But we didn't hate him.
Yeah. Well, there was nobody. He didn't affect anybody's life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The most he did
whatever.
he would block.
He was just annoying.
He would block people's view of the rivers.
Yeah.
And that was like fucking Trump. That was what we would say. You know? There he is again. Well, I still remember the Phil Hartman skit. He played a great Donald Trump on the old '80s Saturday Night Live. Anyway, so man, it's just interesting to me that's what happened.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think like that he was just in the front row. Maybe you ever wonder if like Chris Rock he knew who he was and just didn't also.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Or maybe that's why he went, because Trump Jr. was a big Chris Rock fan and he had seen him at his father's hotels.
Yeah.
So maybe he met him. So he was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to impress these girls by talking to Chris Rock.
Right.
But I don't know. But I don't think Chris Rock even knew him, because Chris Rock never said anything, you know. And I doubt Trump even called him.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, the story was always interesting, but now it's like 1,000 times more interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, it's just changed
it gives
everything.
you a glimpse. And I don't want to upset any Republicans or anything, because I don't even know what the fuck I am. I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'm just saying the guy used his son's blood to advertise his brand.
But it just explains like the type of businessman he is.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, that is fucking crazy. It's nice now looking at it. It's kind of funny that you can say you've been like insulted by. Actually, no.
No, he never heckled me. He just was loud. He was in shock when he looked at me. When I said, well, you weren't that innocent.
He was just like, I liked you.
He just looked at me covered in blood like, what? Like, why you say this? You know, first was in shock. Why would you say it? And then it was like, I'm bleeding.
I'm covered in blood right now. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue.
He was a real asshole.
Wow, man. I want. It's too bad those kids that hit him with the beer mug.
They went to prison.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know,
so I looked
up
at
a
the
billionaire,
story.
man.
I wrote about it.
President or not, you don't fuck with a billionaire.
No. So, yeah, and those kids, they didn't know who they were hitting.
Right. You never know.
The worst person to hit.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, this is another story where I did something. I had done a sitcom. I was a regular on a sitcom in 2001, 2002.
Which one again? I know I've seen it.
Well, the first one you haven't seen was called Three Sisters. It was on before Frasier, after the show Emerald.
Yeah.
Emerald had his own sitcom for a while, which is why nobody saw Three Sisters. So anyway, I did a pilot after that for ABC. So I was on a roll, and then I was in New York for the summer, and I was flying back on JetBlue, and it was winter, and I was flying back for pilot season, and I was psyching myself up. I was 35. Prime of my life, probably the best I'll ever look.
Got some great gigs, like good, TV gigs.
I know I'm going to get auditions, and I'm like, this year I'm going to book the big one.
Right.
And I was like, you bet. I was psyching myself up on the plane, going, you're going to book the big one. So then a couple comes in. I'm in the aisle. A couple comes in. The woman sits in the window, and the guy sits in the middle, and he's very tall and lanky. So then he looks at me and he goes, he's got a skull cap on and sunglasses, and he goes, I'm going to have to step over you a lot. I hope you're a patient man. I go, let's find out. And then he kind of looked at me like, the guy kind of looked at me like, what kind of joke was that, you know?
What the fuck?
But he was, it took him by surprise that
you would say that. Because it's almost rude, but it's kind of, but it is funny.
Yeah,
you know?
So he was
You wouldn't expect a stranger to say that up the bat.
Well, I think he was a celebrity as well, I found out. So that's why I think he was like, this guy doesn't know who I am.
Oh, that's
Or maybe
great.
he knows who I am, but he's not bothering me.
Yeah.
So then I recognize his voice, and I'm like, and he takes on his wallet. And for some reason, he's looking at his wallet with his fiance.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy because he gave his fiance the window.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice. So then he's showing her something in his wallet. I look at it, and it says Michael Richards.
Oh, shit.
It's 2006.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh. You know, this is before anything bad happened. So I was like, wow, it's Michael Richards. So I'll just leave him alone. And on JetBlue, they have the little TV screens, and the flood in Sri Lanka was going on. And so he looks at me, and he points to the screen, he goes, that's horrible, isn't it? I was like, yeah. And we talked about that for a while. And he goes, I saw you working on a script. Are you a writer? I was like, no, I'm an actor. I was like, we have a mutual friend. And I tell him who the mutual friend is, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's a nice guy, you know." And we talked for a little bit. He goes, he's like, "What else do you do?" I was like, "I'm a comic." He goes, I always wanted to be a comic. I wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
So then I said, I saw you host the Young Comedian Special with Chappelle, Louis C.K., and Dave Attell.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but I just told a story about the zoo. He's like, it wasn't doing stand up, and he's like, it's not. I don't know how you guys do that. I'm not good at it.
That's kind of nice. That's nice to know that he was like, you know what, as opposed to being, I'm already the successful actor. I could just do stand up. He's already. He's like, he gets the. He understands it, and also
he tried it in the old days, in the improv comedy club days, but he obviously did.
Yeah.
So he was telling me how he doesn't like it, and he's not. He does like it, but he's bad at it. And then I said, you should do it. I said, there's a club called the Laugh Factory on Sunset Boulevard. You call up the owner. I gave him. I said, this is pretty much the way you call.
Oh, God.
You ask for this guy. You tell him you want to perform under a fake name, and you can practice. And he goes, okay.
That's smart. That's great advice.
So, and then cut to 6 months later, I book my biggest break. The show Stacked with Pam Anderson. Not a big hit now in retrospect, but at the time, it was me, Christopher Lloyd, and whatever.
That's a great gig.
So I'm flying back on JetBlue for the summer, and I am ecstatic.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
In my career. And I took Michael Richards as a sign that this was the next step for me.
A successful sitcom actor right next to you.
And then I'm flying back, and on the same TV screen, all of a sudden, Michael Richards in big trouble for what he said on stage.
Oh my God.
And I look at
my God.
screen, and it's the same plane, same flight, and then there's him yelling the N-word, and it's all bleeped out with the Laugh Factory.
My God.
And I go, this is my fault.
Holy shit.
I was like, I told this guy to do this.
This is my fault.
Yeah.
I told him to go to the Laugh Factory.
It's the same basically as the car chase. Seeing him started my career but ended his. And now my career's over anyway. But isn't that crazy?
That is fucking crazy,
those
man.
are my stories.
It's kind of your fault.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, shit, man. Before you go, do you want to plug anything? Your Twitter and website, any of that shit? Album out. You got an album out that I produced.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you did.
That's right.
I have 3 albums: Sneezes, Farts, and Orgasms, Brian Scolaro Live at the Comedy Castle. And my brand new album is all sketch comedy.
That's right.
It's called Stupid Time. It's really, if you smoke weed and you take long drives.
Perfect for that.
Yeah. Like, I know when I'm driving to Vegas, I listen to music, and then I want to hear somebody talking. Mm-hmm. So people put on podcasts. Why not put on a podcast after you put on Stupid Time?
Absolutely. It's all sketches, right?
It's all sketches, and a lot of it's penis and shit involved.
Yeah.
You know, you write what you know.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that would
Check
be nice.
it out,
And they're
man.
they're on iTunes, and you can get them at allthingscomedy.com, All Things Records.
Hell yeah, man.
And they're on Google Play and yada yada.
That's great. Yeah, you can find it everywhere. You can find
so
comedy,
those 3. That would be nice. That'd help me out.
Yeah.
I could use some money, guys.
There you go, guys. Go buy all of Brian's album.
Please. Just buy one.
Please, just buy one.
I need help. My career's over.
Oh, it's all good. We'll get
I'm alive. I'm still alive, but I just farted. I'm doing all right.
Thank you for being on the show,
Thank you
Brian.
for having me, Nate.